This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the previous
Yeah.
session, we discussed about collections, the data types. Okay, so we can create the collection using list, set, or map, and in the same time we know how to declare data type. So whenever I'm writing any Apex programming, so it is nothing but if my logic or my program not able to connect to the database, not able to read my object level data or my record, then there is no use of writing the program. So if I write a program and I am not able to interact to database, or I don't know how to manipulate database through the Apex programming or through the logic what I am writing, so I cannot build a complete application. So before to that, I should know what are the things I can do with database using Apex. Okay, so let me explain that topic. And again, I'm saying if you have any question at any point, stop me and ask me. We'll clear all your doubts. Okay. So now we'll discuss about Apex and its database concepts. Okay. And how my Apex is going to communicate to database and how we can manipulate the records. Okay. So now before that, whenever I'm saying object, okay. So database when I say nothing but it consists of so many objects. If you talk about any application, for example, if you talk recruiting application, we have position, we have candidate, we have job application, and if you go to any enterprise applications, you have same kind of objects. Okay, right now, if you work in any project, you will have a lot of tables or objects. So now, how I am going to talk to that? So how my object going to represent in a way to Apex? So what is the reference? What is the point there? So let me show you here something. Let me log into the system. Okay, I'm already logged in. So see, whenever I'm saying the object, there are two types of object. If you remember, the custom object and standard object. Okay, so in Salesforce, we have two ways here. Okay, let me show you that. One we say standard object, and another one we call as custom object. Okay. So the objects which we create that we call as custom object, and the object which already provided by Salesforce we call it as a standard object. So for example, I can say account is nothing but a standard object, or contact is nothing but a standard object. Same way, I can say case nothing but a standard object. But wherever the objects which I have created and ends with underscore underscore c, that are nothing but my custom object. If you see, you have created a position object sometime in recruitment app. Okay, so position just we say as a label, but you remember that is a API name, that is nothing but a position underscore underscore c. So let's see, if any moment you go and create a object, see, it's a music library object, for example. Okay, it's a music application wherever I have a music library object. So I have label, I have plural label, I have API name. Nothing but I call it as a music library, my object. Okay. So it may be any object, but you see the all objects, whatever I have, everything ends with underscore underscore c. So if you see any object ends with underscore underscore c, nothing but the custom object we have created. Okay. So the way whenever declare a variable, okay, nothing but it's a integer or string, we define integer, then my variable name. So this variable name, if I say integer roll number, for example, I can say roll number is a variable which can store integer type of data. Okay. So my data can be integer, can be a string, and my data can be a complete record. Nothing but if you see here, if I have a object completely, I have a database completely, and in that database, I have a specific object I created. Okay, let's see. This is my complete database, and inside my database, I have one object. Consider this is one object. Okay. So when I say this object, let me make it normal color. When I say this is one object for me, nothing but in this object, I'll have many records. Okay. So it may contain candidate information, maybe it may contain my music information, may contain my library information or anything. So this is nothing but my records in one object. It may be one record, two record, any number of records. So how I can represent each record? So if I say let's go to the recruitment application, I hope everybody knows that when you start learning the Salesforce. Okay. So now Let's consider this object name nothing but a position object, which name is nothing but position underscore underscore c. So now this complete object what I have, okay, I call this as position object. Okay, so how I can represent one record? So my position object may contain many records, nothing but if I go to Excel sheet, let me open Excel sheet here. If I say this is one object for me or table for me, okay, if I, this is one table for me, okay, so these are nothing but one record, one information completely. If this is a table of employee, then this is nothing but one row, nothing but information about one employee. Okay, so how I can represent it? So this, if you consider this exact one row, this row is one instance of this object. This contains all the columns, the information what I'm keeping. So when we say one record or one row, we call it as one instance of that object. And when we say instance, nothing but there is some memory allocated to it. Okay, so whenever we say the object, and if you see, when we create the instance of that object, nothing but we create one row exactly. Correct, this is one row. So how we represent that, how you create a new row, how we get that row, that kind of thing we'll learn today. Okay, so now first thing, what is a subject and how my objects are being represented? So it may be a standard object, may be a custom object. All the objects have API name, okay, and all custom objects ends with underscore underscore c, which we will use in the Apex to access that. And the moment I say it's an instance, nothing but if I talk about account, if one object for me, okay, in account we have many records. If I want to have one record exactly on my system, or sorry, on my program, nothing but I can say it is one instance of the account, nothing but new account. If you see this account, whenever you see new account or new and a class name, it is exactly one instance of that object. When you write like this, so that means we just create one instance. Okay, so just one row we create, empty row. Okay, and in that empty row we have to fill all the columns. We'll see how we can fill these things. So remember, you, it may be a standard object, may be a custom object. All the objects can be represented as a subject. A subject is the superclass of all objects. This A subject can contain my standard object, can contain my custom object. Okay, so if you want to present account record, simply you can write account. So all object nothing but in one class for me. Just think, any object you name tag, it's nothing but one type of class inside my program. Okay, so when you say account object, nothing but account is one class. Same way, when you say position object, nothing but position underscore c double underscore c is nothing but one class for me. So all these can be represented also as a subject. Okay, so a subject is a superclass or base class of all objects in Salesforce. Okay, so now whenever we want to manipulate with the object, either you can use a subject, either you can use that object type. It may be account or position or anything. Any confusion till now?
No.
Okay, so that way we represent a subject. So now we understood, okay, a subject nothing but a superclass of my all objects. You can access the object with a subject or with a specific object type. When I say a subject, it can hold any type of objects. So in account object, I have a specific fields. In position object, I have some specific fields. How I can access that fields? For example, let me go to here. I'm just opening the developer console. So as we know, we have already account object. I'll try to manipulate something in account. Okay, I'll try to create one record, or I want to instantiate something. So I went to anonymous window. Let me open this. Let me delete all the log files. We have many logs here. Okay. So sometimes you will see like as you asked one day, so why may this dev console not being loaded? If you see there are many log files are there, so it may take a lot of time. Or if any debug log
Yeah.
is already, it may take. Correct? Yes. I just open a Dynamics window. I don't need this piece of code. So how I can refer object in my Apex programming. So how this is similar way how you will create any variable. It may be a collection type or it may be a normal type. Okay. So how you declare integer variable? Same way I can declare one account variable, account SCC. Says when I have written in previous session integer number one. So when I say that this one, it is going to store what? It is going to store one value, type integer. So when you declare integer number one, by default compiler associates some memory. But when you create a account SCC, okay, for this that means I am going to create a reference or create a variable of type account. Same way, I am going to create a variable number one of type integer. Same way, I am going to create a variable SCC of type account. So this SCC nothing but what can store? This SCC can store exactly one account record because I have specified it is type account. Number one can store exactly an integer value. Same way SCC can store exactly one account record, account type of information. Okay, but to store that we have to allocate some memory. For that reason, I have specified new account. So you may ask why we didn't specify memory for number one. So for the predefined types like account integer, string, all automatically compiler associate some memory. Like say in the runtime, my Apex runtime engine allocates some memory. So we don't need. But for account or any object, we have to allocate memory. Even for the collection type, we allocate the memory. If you remember, when we declare a list, we do like that. List of integer, int list equal to new list of integer. Correct? So same way, we just allocate the memory by calling the constructor. Okay. So now this is I don't need, I just remove this. So I did account SCC equal to new account. That means when the moment you write this account SCC equal to new account, it is nothing but it is just creating a row on this object. If I say it is account object, it just create one row. Okay. So in this row, I have so many fields. So which field should have some value? How I can access it? Same way, what we can do. So let's consider in this account, I want to access name field. Okay. So I can set SCC dot name. So these are nothing but my field what we have in the account object. If you go here, if you go account, if you want to access any fields, go to account field. So you have API name for everything. Whenever you do programming, everything we need API name. See here account name is label, but if you sorry account owner is label. But if you want to access in program, you have to use this field name. Okay. The fields which are already given by Salesforce is not ending with underscore c. But if any custom fields, all ending with underscore c. Okay. So now if I want to use account name I want to set some value for account name. So I can access this name field. So simply what I can do, I can go to this dev console scc.name. That means if you see, I have created one specific record. In that record, what I'm going to do, I have one empty reference here, empty row, and I have a field called name. And in this name field, I want to set value. Then for this SCC, nothing but this row, go to the name column and set some value, or go to the some priority column, set the value. So where you want to set, which value you want to set, that you can do here. I want to set SCC name equal to something like say test account for training, something name I gave. Okay. So like that, whatever field you want, you can access it. Okay. So if it is a custom object, let's see, I have a custom object on my org. I'm just opening that. Consider this music library is one object for me, custom object. I want to access that object. What I can do, I can go to music library. Same way, I give the reference name as ML, new music library, and what field I want to access, I can do that reference name dot field name. So let's say consider I just want to take a specific field. Let's is public. It's a boolean checkbox. Checkbox nothing but boolean value. So I can say is public equal to true or false. Okay. So like this, I can access my object in program. As I said, Apex is completely data-driven programming language and which is highly integrated all over the system. That means, see, I have my database, I have my Apex programming. To access the object, I don't need to write any other logic. Just simply refer the object name here. Automatically, my Apex can talk to database. I don't need to have a connection open, connection close, access the database server name, nothing need. Everything is integrated. Okay. So like this we access using objects. So now same way whenever see I specify this using account, okay, using my custom object, and also this can be represent as a S object. See, if I want to write S object, let's see I give the name as sobj equal to, it can contain my account also, because I said S object nothing but it's a super type of all objects. It's a parent of all objects. Any object can be contained by S object. Same way, I can also store S object equal to new position. So when do we need to write this S objects? For example, position is my custom object. See, dynamically when we access some object, we don't know what kind of object I'm going to access it. Okay, I just fired. Okay, I have a account object and I want to get all the child object associated to that. For this org, if you see, whenever you open a account record, under the account, I have contacts, I have opportunities. Under the opportunities, I have opportunity line items, nothing but products. Okay, or cases under the account. So many objects we have, correct? So now, if you see here, maybe contact opportunity case. Like that, I may have another custom related list. I don't know what are the objects I have. I'll just fire a random query for the account. What are the related object I have? I want to get it. So I don't want to write, okay, give me contact opportunities. All the objects I can typecast to a subject type. Okay, once I got a subject type, then I can manipulate what is the subject name or API name by using dynamic apex. For that purpose, we use a subject normally. Okay, so I'm not going to that level. When I'll teach you the dynamic apex, that time I'll give more example of a subjects. But for now, you can just remember the objects you can represent as its own type, like account or music library or position, or it can be contained by the S objects. Okay, so this is one thing. So now, if I have object, how to access the field? You can access the field by using the that object reference name with dot operator and my field name. So any object field when you want to access, simply use dot and field name. When I'm saying field name, it is all about API name. In all about the development, we talk about API name only, nothing label, nothing else. Everything will be API name. Okay. In this way, we can get a subject records. So now I create the account. Okay. So now if you have a database, what we can do? Let's consider. Let me close all these windows. It's confusing a lot. Just give a minute. I'll close everything here. So till now, you have any questions?
No.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just closing everything so that we can just go as easy. Perfect. So now let me clear this. So now we create one account object. So nothing but I have one specific object, and in this object, whenever you have a database object, what you can do? So it's a empty object for me. I have nothing. So now if I give you a table, just think you have Excel sheet. In this Excel sheet, what you can do? First thing, you can I'm just putting some random column name here. Okay, so not to confuse you. I just mention here employee name. Okay, then I mention here employee name, employee number. Okay, then email. Like this, I have few columns. Okay, so now if this is a table for you, database table for you, what you can do on this? So what kind of operation you can do? Any idea? Sri, Ashish?
Insert,
Yep.
update, delete.
Okay. So we talk technically instead of the delete. So if I say in layman language, I can create a normal record. I can create an employee record here. So I can give the name as Ashwini. Okay, and I can fill the information. Same way, I can give the name as Sri. Okay, let's see employee number is something. And email is sri@xyz.com. Okay, same way, I can create one more employee, Ashish, correct? And I can go to some number and some email address. Okay, so now that means first thing we saw, nothing but whenever I have a database object, I have created one record, nothing but I am doing the insert. Okay, so if you have a database object, first activity you can do the insert of the records. So second, what we can do, if I insert the record, then what more activity I can do? Okay, I just want to change the email address of Ashish. That also I should do it. I should be able to do it. I can mention the email address as Ashish at, let's see, xyz.com, for example. So that means I'm updating the record which I have. Okay, so then I say, okay, this Ashwini record is completely empty. I don't want this record. Simply, I can delete it. So that means from database, I should be able to delete the record. So again, for example, I have another Ashish, maybe duplicate record with different employee number, okay, and some email. So I feel these both are the same record. So I should be able to merge it also, correct? So this kind of activity we do. So after all these things, I just want to see like this. I may have the many records, many employees. I want to see the record, the employee. Okay, let's see. I have one more column which I call as salary. Okay, for example. So in this place, what I do, I want to see the employee whose salary is more than some specific amount. I want to get the record from the table. I want to access the record. I want to view the records. That means I can view some records, correct? So whenever you talk this database activity, it is divided in two parts. Any database language you see the complete activity dividing into two parts. Okay, we may perform some DML operations or we may query the records. Okay, nothing but query means nothing but I am going to get the record from database. Okay, or I am going to manipulate the record in database. Okay, so manipulate nothing but I am changing the records there. Get means I am accessing the information. I am not changing anything. Okay, so my Apex program should be enabled to perform this DML and query. So what kind of DML support in Apex and what kind of query we can do in Apex? Okay, so first we'll see the DML operations, then we'll come to see the query operations. Okay, when I say DML operations, what is that? As we mentioned here, insert, update, delete, nothing but. So simply all database operations I'm writing in a short form CRUD. If you remember, whenever you are creating one field, or let me go to that place in Salesforce, I'll give you a little bit idea here. Let's I just go here, setup. I'm just going to a specific profile. Let me open this profile page. I'm just going to any specific profile. I'm going to this contact manager profile. Any profile you can go. I'm just going down to some object. See, if you see this object, what kind of object level administration we can do? I can read the record from object. I can create a new record. I can edit the record. I can delete it. Nothing but all these things specify as CROD operation. C nothing but for create, R for read, update, delete. So when whatever the language you use, these four operations are the basic operations you should be able to do in database. You should be able to create a new record in database. You should be able to update the record in database, existing records. You should be able to delete the existing record from system, and you should be able to read one particular record or many records from the system, from the database, from the object. Okay, so how this is going to happen? So these all operations divided in two parts, DML or query. Query nothing but I am saying get the record or read the record. So there are many mechanisms to read the record. We will see each one by one. And same way DML nothing but we said create, which is nothing but technically insert, and update, delete. These are the three basic operations. First we'll see this, then we'll see merge and all the different activities. So now the example what you're doing, I want to create an account record. So now the moment you create an account, by user interface we go to account tab, we click the new button. The moment you click new, nothing but we create one empty instance of the account object, so which I have shown you here. The moment we create an account object, so with that I am just adding one empty instance. The moment you click new, it is just an empty instance for me. Okay, so now with this I need to fill the information. Let's see, I give the test account, so the field value I want to fill, then I click on the save. All this activity I do, thus this save nothing but inserting one account to my account object. The thing what I am doing on this user interface, how I can do it programmatically. If you see here, if this is one account object for me, okay, to assess that in programming, what I did, I create one empty instance. I'm just going to delete everything. I'm going to create an account record programmatically. I'll see what happens here. I did account, let's see SEC, which I said new account. So the moment I did this one, it is nothing but create one empty record. Now I have to save it. The moment you want to save, like in user interface, you have to fill the field values, which one you want. You may fill all the fields or you may fill the required fields, whatever the programmatically or based on requirement you need. So right now, to understand the logic, I just want to fill the account name. As I said, I can access this sec.name. The field name of the account object can be accessed by dot operator. Then what value I want to set. Okay, I just gave name as test account 1 2 3. Then I go here, I did insert SEC. So the create nothing but it's a insert statement for me, correct? So there are two type of database language given by Salesforce to manipulate it. One by DML commands and one by DML functions or DML methods. There are two things. So this DML activity provided by Salesforce in two ways. One we call as, let me write here, it's going so down. Okay, so what is that? One we call as DML command and one is nothing but DML methods. So DML nothing but I can say database methods. So when I say DML command, if you want to insert a record, I can use insert, and this insert command can store or can insert a single record, single a subject record or any object record, or it can take a collection of record. Okay, so you can create list of account at a time or you can create a single record. So right now I'm showing you a single record, then I will show you what is the same method in database class I have for the same operations. Now I fill the account name, same way I wrote here SEC name. The moment I click the save here, I just gave this name as UI account, as I created an UI. So just to make a difference to understand two different account, I'm just creating like that. I click on save. The moment I click on save here, see there is an account created with name as UI. Okay, whenever the account created, you see every record in Salesforce represent with a specific ID. Okay, this ID of, you can see right now it's a 15 character. It is a 15 and 18 characters ID. There is a difference. So case sensitive, case insensitive, which I'll talk in the admin sessions. Okay, so there is a very difference. I'll tell here also in the interview questions. So we create just a account record here. So the same thing if I want to do in the programmatically, I create the instance, I set the field values, I just set one field right now, I can set many fields, then I fire insert operation and I click execute. The moment I click execute, you see now one record will be created. Let me go here, I just refresh the page, we'll see when account created. See, test account 123 we create right now. We have given the name as test account 123 here. In database, one account created. So now this is about one account. If I want to create 10 accounts, that means I am going to create collection of accounts. So I have two options. If I want to create 10 accounts, what I do? Normal, as a bad practice, as a bad programmer, what I can do? I can create all the 10 accounts, account 1, account 2, account 3. I can do 10 time database operations. Instead of that, what we should do? Always to write one optimized program, to write program which will be boost the performance of the system, we should hit database as much as less possible. Okay, so as less as possible you should hit the database. So if something you want to get from database, instead of going and hitting the database again and again, go and hit database, bring everything. Nothing but like, if you see, if you want to get something from kitchen, let's say you want to get the food from kitchen, you go bring the chapati or rice one time, then again go bring the dal one time, again go bring the sabji one time. So you are going multiple times to one place, assessing some information and coming back. It takes time if you go to the same place 3 times, but if you go one time, put everything in a plate and come back, so you save some time, you save your resource. Same way, if something you have in database and you want to access it, don't go again and again to bring. Go at a time, fire all the operations, complete it and come back. Same way. So if I have 10 accounts to create, I should not hit database my 10 times. Each insert means I'm going to hit my database. Again, one insert means going to hit database. You should not hit database again and again. What we should do? We should keep everything in the collection and save it. So if you see, this is one account. Like this, I have 10 accounts. Same way, if I can say, I have 10 integers. So what we do? We create list of integer int list equal to new list of integer, correct, where I can store any number of integers, correct, 10, 20, 23, 12, like this. Just give a comma. Okay, so same way, if list of integer can contains many integer values, so list of account can contain many account values. So what I can do here, I am just going to create a list of account type, SSC list equal to new list of. This is the same way how I create the integer collection. Same way I am creating the account collection, and in this account collection I am going to store many accounts. Okay, this is my one account, so nothing but whenever you want to store something in the list, what we do, I use this add method, SSC list.add. See, add method. This is one, but I want like this 10 accounts. So I want this piece of logic can be created for 10 times, can be executed for 10 times. So this is the simple programs I'm writing for loop to make you understand my object or my operation, insert operations can contain collection of elements and talk to database. So I'm just doing here for integer I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Anybody confused on the for loop? If you want to explain your for loop, I'll talk about that also. Any explanation need for loop? Or everybody is aware about this for loop? Ashish, Ashwini, Sri.
I'm good.
Okay. Perfect. So this is nothing but I am repeating this statement for loop for 10 times. How many times this execution should start? Anyhow, I'll talk about this for loop in one session. Maybe in the next session, I'll talk about this loop, do while everything. For now, just understand these are the three statements which going to execute many times. I'm just looping these statements. How many times you loop? That is defined here till the time condition satisfied. So I create one account added in the collection. So in the end, I just insert the account list. So now you see insert SSC list. SSC list contains many accounts, collection of accounts, and goes to database and stored in database and come back. So I go hit database one time. So here what I mean to here, let's see. Instead of 1 to 3 to segregate it, I'm just writing test account plus I the name will be test account 0, test account 1, test account 2, like that. I just execute it. Let's see, am I able to create 10 accounts or not? If I go to account tab, see test account 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so everything created. So whenever you write a insert statement, it can store, it can contain exactly one single record, or it can contain collection of record. That just I want to say here. Till the point, all clear?
Yes.
Ashwini?
Yeah, Dev.
Perfect. Okay, so this way we write DML statements. These are nothing but DML statement. We talk insert, update, or anything DML statements. So for this insert, what is my database class method? What other approach we have? We can use it. Okay, how we write the insert statement? It can contain a single record or multiple records. Same way, we can write some predefined method given by Salesforce, which we call as database classes, so database methods. Let me write. How we write insert? For same insert, what we can do here, we have a method in a predefined class which we call database class. What is in database class? In database class, there is a method which we call insert method. Method means it will have some parameters. Something is like this database that insert in bracket. Inside the bracket, what parameter I can pass? I can pass a single record or a collection record. Okay, so let's see, I wrote a SSC list and there is a boolean value false or true. Okay, so what is this false or true? So now I will tell one example. So this SSC list, so okay, let me go to here. So the moment I insert 10 accounts, so let's consider I have some validation rules, some validation rule I have defined in the system. So out of 10 account, let's see account 1. Like this, I have all the 10 accounts. Let me write here, it will be easy for me. Okay, so I have account 1, account 2, account 3. Like this, I have account 10. Okay, so now when I'm going to insert all accounts at a single time to my database, so it may happen my validation rule, there is some validation rule which may fail. So my account, let's see, first account when I'm going to insert, it may fail. So all the records what going to insert, everything will be rolled back. Nothing is going to insert. For example,
Dev,
if I yes, tell me.
sorry. Can we have chance to see the database class? I mean, to understand more that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm showing that. I'm showing that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Showing that, then I'll show that programmatically. Okay. See, if I didn't specify SSC name and I just try to execute it, so what happened here? Let's close this one extra character here. I just click execute. See, it's thrown the exception, correct? So that means I was trying in my collection. I have 10 records, so there is not a single record inserted in database. Okay, so what happened here? So all the records roll back from the transaction. So nothing got saved in database. So like that, if I have 100 records and my 99 record, like this I have 100 records. So there is no validation fail till my 99 number records. But on the 100th record, on this record when trying to save in database, there is some exception occur. There is some validation occur. So now on this part, what will happen? All these records is going to be rolled back. Nothing is going to saved. But I may want, okay, I will just save the records which is good to go, and I'll just roll back the record which is not valid or which is not able to save or which generated the exception. I just want to roll back that piece of record. So if you use database insert statement, like you use insert SCC or SCC list, it will not take care. It will roll back everything. So database method, we have something called database insert, give the collection name and give the boolean value true or false. So this second parameter, true or false, defines do you want to roll back all records or not. Okay, if there is some exception, or you want only the success records should be go to database. Okay, so if you want to roll back the records, then specify true all records. If you want to know it will allow partial saving, then go with false. Okay, then let's see. I'll do the same activity with database insert method. Okay, let's see. I just want to give the record from 20 to 30, 10 records I want to create. So how we do insert SSList list? Instead of this statement, I'm just writing database dot. See, I have insert can take parameter as a list of one collection of records, or it can take DML options. Okay, it can take all or nothing parameters. All these parameters we can set it here. Okay, any type insert, just focus on the insert lines. So I just want to go these all or nothing. Okay, so what is my collection? My collection is nothing but I said SCC list. This is my collection. So I want, okay, partially save records I want. Okay, so now I want to set name for all records except, let me go here. Then you see, before I don't have the name, this is not firing. So for the 29th record, I don't want to set the name. That means all the records have the account name, but one record I don't have the account name. Okay, I just specify if this is the 29th record, 20, I start from 20, it will go till 30. On the 29th record, I don't want to set the account name. For all other records, I will set. If these operations I write with insert, so what happened? The moment I try to execute, see, it's exception. There is not a single record created in my system. Let me see that. There is not a single record created in my system till test account 9. See, now the same thing I am going to do with database insert. So this insert statement thrown me the exception. It's thrown the exception. But in database insert, when I do, I just click execute. We'll see what happened. Okay, so, oh, I missed the semicolon. I just keep the semicolon now. Click execute. So now see, I didn't get any exception. Something happened in my system. Let me see. Let me refresh the page. See, I just create account till 28. It is just roll back that record which have the exception. So I just allowed partial record save in my database. So when I say database.insert, it is just a method. So do this method have some return type or not? So it is not generating exception. So how I will know which record got failed or not? Okay. So whenever you do database insert, there is one specific return type we get the result. Okay, what type of result it will return? It will return me database dot save result. Okay, so the records which you are going to insert or which you are going to manipulate, so for each record we will get a result, it successfully insert or not, and that is nothing but one save result array, database dot save result array. So let's I just give the name as my insert list equal this, or insert result, anything you can specify the variable name equal this. So that means when I do insert, what is the result came? All record inserted or not? If any record fail, everything will be stored here, because it's not going to throw me exception, but it will give me the result. These are the result happen on this TML operation. Okay, the moment you do insert, it return me save result. Okay, how will manipulate this? Okay, I want to see out of all these records which record got failed. Again, I'm just changing this to understand this. Let I'm just going for 30 to 40, and I just want to fail the record 35. Okay, in the between I failed. So is this going to fail completely after 35, or just 35 is going to roll back? We'll see. So how we'll see this one? So I got one array of records, the result of the in operations, and we can see from here. For Again, I wrote the for loop. Okay, I have the result in the insert result variable. Nothing but in this, I just go to iterate on each record. Let's see, I just see what is my save result. So now I can see for each record my result is success or not. So that I can check with if condition. If my result is success or not, it's a method, predefined method, everything given by the Salesforce. Okay, success or not. If it is not success, I will show the message. Otherwise, we'll see it's success means I don't do anything. If it is not success, I will show what is the error. If the result is not success, then we will see what is the method I have, sorry, what is the record and why it is failed. Let's, I'm just doing the debug line here because I didn't teach you exception handling mechanism. So I'm not doing try catch or anything, any throw exception I'm not doing. I'm just showing what is my error here. The moment it's not success, that means it's thrown me the error, and all the errors I will get from get error methods. So let's see, I want to print all the errors. For database dot error, let's er. So for this success result, whatever I have, I just want to print all the errors whatever I have. Okay, so this kind of operation, this kind of what for loop I'm writing here, what is this class we'll use in the all insert, update and delete everywhere. Okay, but here I have save result. In that place I will have different kind of class. Okay, so now I'm just printing this error message. Okay, so the error dot, sorry, let's see, I'll just print the error message here. Dot get message, this much I did only. Okay, now I'm going to do, we'll see what happened. I'll explain this program completely. Okay, database, I missed the A here. I'm very bad in this syntax. DATABAC. Okay, something happened. I don't know what happened. We'll see. We'll see the log file here. If anything error comes, we'll see what is the error and why is this error come. Because it doesn't throw the exception. See, error message required field missing. So for one record, we got this error. If multiple record, then we can get this one. So now, what I'm trying to say here, let me show you the complete database class and what are the methods we have. Okay. Then we'll discuss if any confusion here. We'll close all your confusion. You will be confused, obviously, I know. Okay, database class affix. See, I'm not saying to remember all the classes, all the methods. Always you access this. You have Google, always you can access this. So see, if you go to this, you have database class completely. I'll show you all the methods and how we can use that. This is opening, just give a second. See, so there are many methods like convert lead. I'm not going to talk about all these things now. So I just focus on something we call insert. See, I have one method which I call insert. See, insert record to insert all or none, everything. If I go this method, see there are many methods. You don't need to remember everything. So it is going to return me one database save. For each insert, I'll go and get the return of database.save result. If you are going to maintain collection of records, then you will get database.save result direct. And this database.save result nothing but another class where you will get which records are being saved or which records are being failed. All the insert operations and their associated activities. Okay. So now see the program what I have written here. I mentioned everything on this till this part. You everyone clear. Now we came something this part. So now I said whenever you do database insert, it is going to return me the result as an array. So the operations of the collection what I did, the operations is success or failure. Okay, everything will be stored here. And if you want to manipulate there, then you loop on that operations, sorry, on that result, and you can show or you can handle that exceptions. When you learn the exception handling, then you can see how nicely we have to handle these errors. Just now I just print it. Okay, any confusion?
One question.
Yes, please.
So we got only one error, right?
Yes, because why one error? Because I just keep for one record not to print this. So let's see. I'll just go a little bit more here. Okay, 50. I again have delete all these records. Okay, so let's see. I just want 45 and sorry or I not equal to okay not equal to till 60 going na 55. So for both these records I don't want.
Oh, it only failed once. Okay, I got it.
Got it, perfect. So I don't want to execute. Okay, Ashish, any confusion?
So we use save result just to manipulate the error. That means what was the
Yes.
reason for the failure of the records. That's it, right?
Correct. That's it. Only to see
Okay.
what is the error, or if you want to handle that error, then you can write some exception handling mechanism. Like you can throw it, or you can notify to someone, okay, this is happened. Because if you don't do this, then you don't know all the records successfully inserted or not. For example, I will say in real time, we have a batch operations, okay, batch job. So I will talk about the batch job in coming classes. So in that batch job, what I do, I'm just taking 1000 piece of records to insert it or to update it. And out of 1000, I just see 10 records getting failed. For that 10 records, I don't want all my job to fail. I will allow my 990 record to process, but let that 10 record to fail. If fail, how I'll know? So I can write some piece of program here which will send email to me, okay, these 10 records got failed, you can go and fix it manually or you do something. So how I'll know to know, okay, if I process a job or batch file and I will get notified from this method, okay, these are the records failed from these operations because of this error. Now you go and manipulate it manually or fix the issues so that we can take care in the next job. Got the point? How we use in the real time these scenarios.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ashwini, all clear?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So how we did insert? So in the next session, we'll talk about update. Okay. For the first time, I didn't talk so much about this operation because just we are coming to programming. I don't want to make everything bounce. So we'll go slowly. Okay. Just we'll learn insert. So next session, we'll learn about update and delete, merge, SQL, SSL. That next session will close all these stuff. Okay.
Here you have put if I is not equal to 45, I 55. So two error will come, right?
Yes, see, okay, I'll execute, I'll show you what happened here. If I execute this, I'll show in the log file. There's a loading log file. We'll just give a second to the system. Let me show the debug log. Error message, one record came because which is error, it come here, completely error message. If not success. I not equal 45, I not 55, this will going to 55. So how many records inserted will see in the account level? Let me refresh this. See 55 not entered and 45, oh, 45. Okay, I start from 50 to 60, so it not came. Okay, I'll just go and start from 60 to let's 70, and I just keep 61 and 65. That time in my loop, I was not in 45, so it's on one message. So now I just did for 61, 61, 65 to skip. Okay, so now you see what happened. Now if you go and see, this is two error came. Okay, so now we can get the record ID, the number where you got the message, everything you can manipulate, and we can send the notification to someone, or we can build Excel sheet, or we can compose an email from there and we can send it. I'll teach you everything, how to compose email, how to send the Excel sheet, everything. Okay, so I hope today class is not confusing. So very simple thing I'll say, object can be in a subject, can be the object type. Okay, instantiate the object using new keyword, access the field with dot operator, and to perform DML operations like insert, use insert statement or insert database class method. When you use database class method, it can be partially or it can be rollback all, or do all or nothing. That nothing but the second parameter. And my insert statement can take a single record or can take a collection of records. And when you do with database methods, it return a result array. From this result array, we can check a success or failure. And if you want to process some logic, we can write inside that. We discussed only this much. Any confusion?
No.
Perfect. Okay, then we'll meet in the next session. We'll close all the database methods like as I mentioned here. We'll close all these topics. So SQL, we'll talk in database DMLs like insert, update, delete, merge, SQL, SSL, and how we use the for loop SQLs and a subject collections. This thing will close in the next session. Okay. So go through all these things and Google what are the database methods we have in the Apex class. Okay, I will also share the link with all of you. Okay, go and check once. Then in the next session, we will discuss for further topics. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next session. If any questions, you can message me anytime. Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.